There's a term I learned from a gentleman by the name of Nick Schoolcraft at Phoenix Solutions, if you know
Yep.
Nick. And he taught me this term called social proof. And that is that consumers are looking for social proof that we can be trusted.
Yes.
And one of those forms of social proof is online reviews. So we might do a good job of customer service, but if we don't do an extraordinary job in customer experience, then we're not going to get those online reviews or people to be raving fans who got there and tell their friends and family about us. So yes, I believe our industry is falling short on that. And I don't think they do it intentionally. It's almost like if they make a customer mad, they're like, well, I got a 3-week or 3-month backlog, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
I think that's a recipe for disaster.
Well, and I heard a statistic. I don't know if you've heard this, but we think oftentimes our businesses have amazing customer service. And then when they're surveyed, and this is in general, not just collision, but then once surveyed, it's like, 40 to 50% of people are actually believe that it was extraordinary, anything more than average, basically, to use the words that you're using, which is, surprising for a lot of business owners who think they're getting it right.
Yes.
So what do you think then for shop owners? Because I'm sure if you would have probably called every shop that was represented in the room, you would have had a similar experience. Where do you think they should start in order to turn that around?
No, I 100% agree. So first of all, I think as an industry, we've kind of done ourselves a disservice. So I think we've focused on customer service versus customer experience.
Yes.
So obviously many OEMs and many insurance carriers require that shops do CSI surveys. And basically it's 3 questions. Were you kept informed? Was the vehicle delivered on time as promised? And did you have to return the vehicle for any issues?
Right.
And so everything we do or everything that our staff members have done is in regards to kept informed, on-time delivery, vehicle fixed rate.
Right.
And I believe what we've done is we've handcuffed our employees where that's all they're focused on. And they're not thinking about an extraordinary customer service experience.
Yes.
And so I think that also there's a term I learned from a gentleman by the name of Nick Schoolcraft at Phoenix Solutions, if you know Nick. And he taught me this term called social proof. And that is that consumers are looking for social proof that we can be trusted.
Yes.
And one of those forms of social proof is online reviews. So if we don't deliver, we might do a good job of customer service, but if we don't do an extraordinary job in customer experience, then we're not going to get those online reviews or people to be raving fans who got there and tell their friends and family about us. So yes, I believe our industry is falling short on that. And I think we're so busy that it's almost, and I hate to say this, but I think some shops are getting to the point where, and I don't think they do it intentionally, but it's almost like if they make a customer mad, they're like, well, I got a 3-week or 3-month backlog, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
I think that's a recipe for disaster.
I agree with you. And I see that a lot myself with the shops that I work with. And it sounds like everything that you're saying, if I can put it in a nutshell, is really connecting. We talked about employees being extraordinary employers, basically, and extraordinary in our customer experience. And I think it all comes down to emotionally connecting with people more than processing and getting through the procedure of everything. And, we check the person in, we've got them going, the site, let's look at the cycle time. Did they need to come back? All of these process oriented things versus did we connect with them emotionally? Did we support them emotionally? Same for our team. Do you feel like that is kind of at the core of all of this?
100% agree, right? So I think oftentimes we think about, CSI, customer satisfaction index. But we also have to look at that ESI, employee satisfaction index. And I think it's one of the things we have to do is ensure if you don't have happy employees, you won't have happy customers, right?
Yes.
They go hand in hand. And so I think the ability to just make sure that we have a great culture. And that was one of the other things that I shared was be extraordinary as an employer, be extraordinary in regards to culture. Because right now, most every shop in North America has tons of cars to fix. What they don't have is tons of people.
Yeah.
And so I think we have to be that employer of choice. And, I kind of shared a comment that I said that we want to be a place as an employer where people don't just love their job, they love the organization. So they don't just love what they do, they love the organization. Like if you're a company, they want to wear your jersey, right? And I think that's really important. And I think that we have to start looking at flexible work hours, 4-day work weeks, recognizing people for extraordinary performance. And I think culture, we just can't, I think it's undervalued in our industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a lot of breaking outside of the box of what they normally do. And that's very uncomfortable for people and oftentimes confusing because it's like, where do I start? For somebody that's done what they do for so long, it all sounds really great, but where do I start?
Yeah, it's so funny. I was watching a TV show recently, California Fire, if you've ever watched it, right?
Yes.
I love it, right? And the fire chief, he had this person on his fire, his team on the fire department was having a bad day, and he's like, just, work hard, drink beer, and repeat, and somebody called him out on that, said that doesn't work anymore. And then one of the later episodes, you have this old crotchety fire chief guy that goes up to one of his firefighters and says, look, I was wrong. And I just, what you really need to do is seek out some professional counseling and things like that. So where I'm going with all that is that we have a lot of, body shop owners or managers or technicians have been in the industry a long time, and they're not into touchy feely, but I think we have to understand that people feel appreciated in different ways.
Yeah.
There's a book that I love called The 5 Languages of Appreciation by Dr. Chapman. And it was based off of his book, The 5 Love Languages. But everybody has a different language of appreciation and, or affirmation, right? And so understanding that people are not all motivated by money, and there's different ways we make people feel appreciated.
Yeah, I love that. Do you remember what those 5 were by chance?
Yeah. So one is gifts. One was words of affirmation.
Okay.
One was acts of service.
Okay.
One was physical touch. And the other one was, and the other one's quality time.
Oh, yeah.
So I know you think physical touch, but I'm not going to go hugging and kissing my employees. No, but a handshake in the morning, a smile, those types of things, right?
Right.
And there's actually an assessment, and you can take to understand how your employees feel appreciated. So, I'll share another tidbit with you too. I learned this from a shop called Trinity Collision in Moncton, Canada. And Mr. Taylor, who owns the body shop and dealership, when somebody does something extraordinary, he doesn't reward them with a financial bonus, because he feels that when you do that, once they spend the money 5 years from now, they won't remember it. So he tries to reward them for extraordinary performance. I think that's the key. When somebody does something extraordinary, he tries to reward them in a way that creates a memory. So, for example, he will pay somebody to clean your house every week for a month. Right. So that creates a memory, right?
Yeah.
Or he'll do something like he'll send you on a paid vacation. That creates a memory.
Wow.
And
that's cool.
Yeah, I have another dealership client, and the way they reward people is they have what's called paid vacations.
Okay.
So instead of just paid vacation. So they found that most people, when they took their vacation, they still need that paycheck to pay their bills because of the way they're on a budget.
Right.
So what he does is he gives them extra money but they have to use it for a hotel or an airfare.
Okay.
And he gives them extra money. So he's paying them not just their week's paid vacation, but once a year, he gives them $2,000 that they can use for airfare, hotels, or whatever. So it's a paid vacation, which I thought was pretty cool.
What a great idea. This is the kind of stuff that I always call them my shower moments, because I have these ideas in the shower that I would never normally have. Because you think, gosh, how do these people come up with this? But what a great idea. Really talk about outside the box. And really understanding the needs of our people. Like you said, having the experience versus the money feels good and it's always helpful. But having an experience really endears the employee to the establishment, not just the owner or the manager that gave them that bonus. I mean, it's the organization. Wow. What a great idea.
Yeah, it was really interesting. So Michael and Kyle Bradshaw and their team are here from K&M Collision. So shout out to the team at K&M Collision. But one of the things we were talking about, because they were in attendance today, is that they went to a 4-day work week. And they went to a 4-day work week, and their sales went up by almost 15%.
Wow.
So same exact employees.
Right.
But they went to a 4-day work week and their sales grew 15%, right?
Wow.
And I mean, that's just, I think that we've got to understand that we have to think outside the box for things like that.
Right. Well, and understanding and being okay that it might not work perfectly when you try these things, and being okay with that. I think a lot of people get stuck in the thought that if I try it and it doesn't work, then it's, catastrophic. And it's like, well, no. I mean, K&M didn't know a 4-day work week was going to work for them and their team unless they rolled it out, right?
Yes.
And look what they found. And if it didn't work, you go back to your 5 days, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yes.